So, we're all here. We're all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Feels wrong. Feels wrong, everyone being here.
I'm sorry, there's been no trouble at my house tonight, so...
T-Mus, could you please leave the room? It feels wrong.
It's a COVID miracle. Yeah, alright, so. Getting the music started.
Change to headphones. Go.
Mm-hmm. And so, where we last left off, the group has traveled to the final continent of the planet, which is Canlius. Canlius is, in the eastern half at least, ruled by the Grey Elves, who are basically every bad thing that imperialism has ever been and done rolled into one.
Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
I love it. I don't love it.
You first traveled to Bundulus, where you found out that it was basically a sort of retreat where people who want to concentrate on arcane technology can spend their time and resources, but is otherwise still ascribes to the value system of Grey Elves in general. And incidentally, Grunash, you weren't there to get it in person, but you got a magic item from your work in Bundulus, which is the the Iron Bands of Bilaro.
Alrighty.
Basically, the way it works is that you throw it at somebody using a dexterity attack roll, at which point it automatically restrains them. They then have one chance, every creature gets exactly one chance to break the bands with a strength roll, and if they fail, then they cannot succeed again for the next 24 hours.
Oh!
But if they do succeed, they break the bands, and the bands are forevermore broken. So just, be careful who you throw it at.
Yeah, and what's the DC on that?
20.
Oh, tough stuff then.
Yeah. Magical iron. That'll do it.
Yeah, that would.
So, after that, you all went to one of the flying islands that have the sort of National Magic Academy on them. There wasn't a reason to choose one in particular, so you went to the closest one in Bilnudral. There you basically bought yourselves a seat in the classrooms. You demonstrated your relative superiority to the average Grey Elf student, and you courted the attention of the Fallen Arrows Society, which is the one that Harvey believes has been infiltrated by the worm. Incidentally, you are all in green elf disguises, since you figured it would be hard to the accents and lingo are a bit different, so it was just easier that way. Anyway, you got yourselves entry into the Fallen Arrow Society headquarters on the island, discussed things with the locals there a bit, and then decided to strike after dark in order to discover whatever secrets they might have that could lead you up the chain, since going through the ordinary means of advancement would have required several years of time and thousands of gold pieces of investment.
Yeah, would have been lame, basically.
Yeah.
However, there was a unusually lucky guard who had the night shift. He was suspicious of you from the start, figured out enough of what was going on for you to strike. There was a bit of a scuffle, and in the end, you killed the leader of the Fallen Arrow Society branch by chucking him off the balcony.
He fell a
Yep.
real long way and didn't
He
prepare
got the
feather
big
fall
slappy.
or fly or anything that would help with a floating island in the sky.
He got the big swappy.
That he did, my friend.
Whereas I shot people with gun.
And
Not lucky enough to dodge a bullet, motherfucker.
incidentally, you noticed a few additional strange things about the Lucky Guard after you killed him. First of all, you found a badge that seemed to indicate that he was ranked 4 out of 6 in the society, even though other indications were that the leader of this branch was only rank 3. And on top of that, the other members of the group that you had to kill did not have any badges on them. And for that matter, the letter addressed to the leader of the society branch indicated a hand gesture and made no mention of badges.
Huh.
Also, it's important to note who the letter was from.
Her Majesty...
Majesty.
Oh, Majesty.
Her Majesty is here for the wedding today.
Her Majesty Queen Hanera Terranel of Ulmard, a co-chairwoman of the society.
I'm just gonna keep calling her Queen Panera. This is due to nobody's fault but my own.
Yeah.
So many
And just-
people were so pissed off when she stopped giving out the French onion soup. It was ridiculous.
And a couple of other strange things about the guard. It was that he had a low-class, rough accent, as opposed to everybody else pretty much on the island. Like, even the other bodyguards had high-class accents.
Huh.
Grenache was actually posing as a guard, and so you know from personal experience, from talking with them, that most of the bodyguards for the particularly wealthy members of the academy are people like second sons or cousins from cadet branches, just kids who have nothing better to do with themselves and maybe don't show the right aptitude for magic, but are still part of the upper class.
Maybe, just throwing this out there, he wasn't actually a member of the Fallen Arrows. He's a member of something else, and that's why he has the 4, and why there was no other mention of him, and why no one else has a badge.
Or
I don't
maybe
know
he was one of their recruits.
What that would mean,
Well, at
but
the same time, he did not disguise his accent, and nobody else was curious about it.
yes, I admit that this does not answer all the questions or anything, but
I mean, remember that they've said they recruit talent from all over here of
Yes.
all sorts.
yes, I'm just saying, well, mainly my point was, what if the 4 indicates something other than, like, what if that badge is something other than the Fallen Arrows, or related to something other than one's normal level in the Fallen Arrows?
Or what if he was a higher up there to keep track of what was going on here?
I mean,
Yeah, but then
suspicion would be that
why,
he's
like,
infected.
yeah,
Not that
I
we'll find
don't
out,
know.
given he's hunted so far down.
Like, that was my initial assumption, but that he was a higher up that was sent to, like, sort of clandestinely keep an eye on things. But then why was there no mention of him? I mean, maybe he was a higher up that was sent
Well, if
by
he was
someone else secretly? Like, I don't know.
No, he could have been
If he
sent on
was-
order of the queen.
posing as a guard despite his rank, then they would not be mentioning offhand.
Yeah,
Right,
this
okay.
guy we secretly instilled on here is actually not a guard.
But then why does he have a
Pirate
badge when no one else does? That's the weird thing.
For identification for the actual group.
Well, yeah, but why does no one else have the badge? That's what doesn't make sense.
Other people have
Alright.
badges.
Well, let's hang on to the badge just in case. But
Right. Well, there are two other things on his person that you may... because you notice that he threw at least 3 daggers during the fight, and none of them are where he left them. But he does have exactly 2 daggers and 2 sheaths for his daggers on his person.
teleporting dagger is cool.
Magic teleporting daggers. That's awesome.
When you bring them back to Lorm, he can identify them for you as +2 returning daggers.
Hmm.
I still have identify, so
Yeah, but, we
Yeah, but you
get
don't need
Worm
to
do
spend
it.
spell slots.
Yeah, Lorm's the diviner. He's supposed to be doing this sort
He
of thing.
wants to do something.
Please, Grenache, let me do this one thing. Let me have it.
Let me be
Let
useful,
Lauren feel
please.
useful.
Um,
Lauren feel useful.
Yes.
All right, so that's cool. I guess. Well, they probably
they
require
require-
attunement, right? Or do they
I was
not?
like, do they require them or not?
Well, these are custom. They're not just the regular returning daggers from the DM, or regular returning weapons from the DMG. So no, I'm going to say they are not.
Oh, fancy.
Mm,
I assume Lily would probably.
yeah, I have a dagger for throwing to begin with.
Oh well, there you go.
There you go.
I mean, in theory, Aurelia could, but she has enough ranged options. I
You
think,
have a ridiculous fucking mace.
yeah,
Also, you-
well, as a ranged
All of your
option.
spells.
But yes, I have a lot of spells that are kind of my ranged options, so I don't really need them.
If y'all are okay with that, I'd take them.
My
Yeah.
dexterity is it 0 or is it -1? Either way, it's not great. I shouldn't use those.
Also,
Yeah.
Grenache has.
No, I just meant that I really
monk
could use them
bullshit.
because her. Oh, actually, no. She can only do one weapon at a time. With her charisma modifier, that's right. So yeah, she wouldn't want them. But I mean, her dexterity's fine. But yes, I think it makes the most sense for Lily to have them for sure.
All right. Well,
Kind
the way
of
that-
replace Old Faithful.
just to be particular about it, the daggers are +2 to attack and damage, and they return at the end of your turn, or the
Okay.
current turn, if you use them as a reaction.
Cool.
God, I need to actually enter in a new weapon now. Ugh. Ugh.
All right, and oh yeah, last thing. Although the badge indicated rank 4, he, like everyone else in that room, did not have a worm implanted.
Huh.
Bit too obvious, I suppose.
If nothing else, you could always hypothesize that being lucky, he was always somewhere else when they were implanting them, perhaps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, if he was so fucking lucky, why didn't he fall in with a better crowd?
Okay, listen. He just had the screaming shits when they were handing worms out that one night. And he just on the toilet all night. They couldn't find him.
Yes.
Well, we don't
the
know how
Johnny-
many people in the
the
group
Johnny
have
problem.
worms. I mean, it's possible that they I don't know if we've ever seen a consistent policy across wormified
I
groups,
just
like
like
as
the
to who
idea
gets the
of
worms
this
and who
guy-
doesn't. So
I just like the idea of this guy thinking like, oh god, this night's terrible. There's no way it could be any worse, and instead everybody's just getting worms shoved up their noses or in their ears. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, no, it's the Johnny problem. It's like why you don't get fucking nanomachines in ya.
Just keep pooping them
Weren't
out.
there. Well, yeah.
Why did you have a joint problem when it came to meeting us?
Can't believe this rogue's name is Johnny.
And now he's dead. He'll never be able to marry Meryl, which is a fucking romance that came out of nowhere.
You know what, though? He's still better for her than Snake.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right, so according to the letter, the meetup on the privately owned flying island is going to take place in about a month. And it's going to take a little less than a month to get there. And so you do have some time to plan out what you're going to do once you get there.
Yeah. All right. So it seemed like last time we were all kind of leaning towards the idea of one of us, presumably Aurelia,
Probably
being
Aurelia.
disguised as the guy whose name I've already forgotten.
Barry. Blue jeans.
I think it was like
Sir Elisabel Veriston.
Elisabel, that's the name. So Elisabel Veriston. Yeah, now okay. This is
Wally.
This is where I need to like actually remember things.
You have the best chance of like rolling performance or deception, probably. Or, yeah.
Performance or deception, I assume.
Planning session.
Sorry?
Just moved all the characters around.
I don't see any characters.
All I see is a picture of the school.
Yeah.
It's odd. I've moved the player's flag.
Let me try refreshing.
Same.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, okay.
Weird.
So, as I was saying, planning session.
No, I
So-
mean, like, I like the idea of Aurelia pretending to be Wally there, and bullshit our way through until we can find some warmed up people and just go to town on them.
I mean, me and Grenache can pose as bodyguards.
All right. Now, hear me out on this one, fellas. Why don't we just kill them all again?
You know what? This is a good argument.
This is...
Well, all right. Look, I will not object strenuously to this. However, I mean, is it? If that's really the best option, then sure. But we don't know how many of them are going to be there. We don't know what kind of defenses they're going to have. If we just go in guns blazing from the start, are we really going to it just seems a little bit risky. It seems like even if we do end up, fighting our way through, do we lose anything by trying to be stealthy to begin with, at least to get the lay of the land?
Well, about that, we won't have to fight if we do it right. You see those flying islands? They don't fly themselves. There's not some sort of rock around here that's just lighter than air or whatever. There's a magic power source deep in the center of each one of these islands.
So
If
you
that
destroy
gets
the source, it
disrupted-
crashes down.
It hits the ground.
Okay, so we're terrorists now. All right. So you just want to destroy the entire island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds.
I mean, it's not going to be easy to get everybody and be sure of it, because there's going to be a lot of powerful wizards on the island. It's going to take some time to actually hit the ground. They can cast fly, they can dimension door away, they can use teleportation.
Which is probably how we're going to get out of it.
So then, in that case, we will still have to fight, really.
And of course, they can always evacuate onto their ships. But I thought about that too. We're not using that great big null iron box anymore, right?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Not at the moment, no. I mean, it's just kind of sitting there collecting dust. I mean, it's got sentimental value to it, but, you know.
But if we needed another one, we could go back and get some more plates. Here's the thing.
Yeah?
I've been messing around with the stuff. And abjuration magic does something funny. It kind of bounces off. Like other magic just sort of stops where it is and doesn't exist anymore. But magic meant to stop magic from existing, that bounces off. So I had a thought. If we can put those plates in just the right spots across the island without anyone being the wiser, then when we hit the power source, the disruption's going to bounce off the plates, going to magnify the effect, hit a whole bunch of stuff. Magic in the area is going to stop working for a little while.
Won't that include our own magic?
Yeah, that's why we've got to be careful. But,
I mean, only a fool trusts their life entirely to magic. That's all I'm saying.
I've asked Lorem. He apparently knows Odaluke's Resilient Sphere. It's a spell that stops anything from getting inside of it. And it's just big enough to surround the helm of the ship.
Aw.
All right. So wait, so we would be able to still use the ship, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd have to get the hell off the island fast, but we could escape.
All right.
I like this plan because fuck those elven wizards.
Yes. Yes. Same.
And also, fuck the worm and his plans, but also I hate these people. I hate them in ways that I haven't really hated in the past.
I am curious about what will count as magic for the purposes of this thing disrupting it. But I guess that's something we can think about later.
Well, given the place resists all magic except for this specific kind, where it reflects it, I'd say it'd be safe to say that it'll work the same way.
Right. That's not what I mean. What I mean is what counts as magic. Like, spells, obviously, but what other sort of supernatural effect, like magic items? I mean, do all magic items stop working?
Well, if it's anything like an anti-magic sphere, then yes, magic items will stop functioning.
Huh.
Even divine artifacts?
Yeah. Not forever, but for the time being, yeah. So the person going down to disrupt...
Magic fields work.
So the person going down to disrupt the power sources should probably be the fastest person here, who doesn't need any help being fast.
Wonder who that could be.
He is looking over at Grenache.
Yeah. Everybody's just looking
Exactly.
directly at Grenache.
Yeah, I'm expecting everyone to be looking at Grenache at this point. And just Grenache is just face palming like, of course it is.
Look, your stride is longer, alright?
You just
I
know
am well aware.
you know the good steppy.
Yeah.
An anti-magic field. Spells and other magical effects, except those created by an artifact or a deity, are suppressed in the sphere. So, oh no, wait. The properties and powers of magic items are suppressed in. I see. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I could call for Gia's help, except not really, because in order to do that, I need to be a tree. And guess what turns me into a tree? The answer's magic.
Right. Okay.
No, so you
Make sure
never
you
pick up
notice
anyway.
when this happens, or you'll be stuck in the tree.
It's
or
fine,
will
we
it
could always
just put it
chop
spell
like
you
down
in a
and
tree?
haul the wood.
Okay, so I guess
Actually, I do wonder the logistics of that. What if Lake turned into a tree and then we chopped it near the roots, just
No,
at the very bottom,
stop.
and took the top?
Nope.
How intact would Lake be?
Stop it.
I cannot approve of this plan if there are innocents harmed by it. Gurnash, please ask.
these. Are we sure these people are all innocent? Are all guilty of harming others, though?
And isn't this a secret worm meeting? Set up by the worm?
Well, we'll find that out. We'll find out that much once we get there. But well, just listen to this. I'm sure there are gray elves who don't really buy into their society. Everybody's got some. Even the illithids have some. You're looking at one of them. But the people on this island have selected themselves to be there. They're all going to be members of this society. They're all going to be at least rank 2 based on that letter we found.
Yeah, this is on a need-to-know basis, given the letter.
Yeah, there's.
I forget. Did the letter mention that like there weren't going to be any like servants there, things like that?
It didn't say, but I don't think it would have to. At sensitive meetings like these, Grey Elves rely entirely on unseen servants and other magic like that. They wouldn't bring slaves to a party like these. Slaves talk.
Right.
So everyone there wants to be here, then?
Yeah.
Well, there might be some slaves on the ships that come there and dock. Unseen servants aren't particularly strong.
So the ones on the ships would be able to get away at least.
The ones on the ships.
Sure.
The ships will also be deactivated because of the magic attack. We must save the slaves if we can. Only then will I agree to this plan.
Is there a way to get the ships away?
Well, some of them will be ordinary magic ships, but then they'll stop working. I figure a spell jamming helm is strong enough that disruption shouldn't last too long, but we'd need a caster to sit in the seat and make sure it can get away.
And the other ships that are there?
Sorry, the other ships what?
The other ships, not just ours, but all of those that'll be there.
Well, that's like I said, there's going to be a mix of airships and spelljammers. Like, if we could, I don't know, crowd all the slaves onto one ship and get it out of the way early.
That sounds good. Bringing slaves. It sounds like a productive use of my time. Oh, Gurnash runs around and plants crystals or whatever.
The timing of it will probably be the tricky part, though.
Yeah.
It would absolutely be tricky, yes, and trying to do it unnoticed as well.
Well, there's actually something we can do to help with the timing. It's called Rari's telepathic bond.
Explain?
It's a mid to high level spell. You cast it on the people in like a room, up to 8 people, and they can telepathically communicate with each other for a full hour.
Huh.
But it'll only work for an hour. After that, you'd have to get everybody back together again.
All right.
Also, I'm assuming once everything goes to hell, it'll stop working anyway.
Yeah, well, hopefully one of us would say, I'm about to do it. And then everybody else would move first. Alright, so the letter says that only 4 people can go up there. Says they have to stick together, but I think we're gonna be ignoring that.
We'd have to make this work.
Yeah. So, one person to handle all the slaves, convince them to all get on board one ship and escape with it.
I'll try and do that.
One person to plan all of the iron panels to get them set up for the magical reflection. One person to infiltrate the underworks. That's going to take a while. And I don't know, maybe one person to go into the lion's den, figure out what the hell's going on among the higher-ups, make sure we're getting everybody.
Yeah, well, I think the roles for this seem fairly obvious. Grudash goes down and plants the magic bomb or whatever we're doing. Lily's the stealthiest. She can plant the magic reflector shit. Lake can go free the slaves. And Aurelia can go into the lion's den.
Yeah.
I assume everybody's
Fine to me.
fine with
I'm
that
fine with that.
configuration.
Alright.
Temper?
I should be able to disrupt the power source.
Then you're in agreement.
So long as the slaves are as safe as possible.
I'll give a nod, look straight to Lake. You do what you can for those slaves.
I was planning on it.
Okay. Then we're in agreement.
Oh yeah. If Lily's going to be doing the planning, you should probably have this. How much do you people know about compasses?
Magnetic north is where they always point, unless they're magic and they point to whatever your heart desires the most.
You would actually not know about compasses.
Oh, I would.
Magnetic compasses.
Okay.
That technology does not exist on Karastak yet.
So how did we get to cartography then?
Get the what?
How did we come to learn cartography then?
The hard way.
Okay, I guess I learned that the hard way then.
The sun and tracking the stars.
Because when the sun is at its highest point, it's always to the north in Karastak.
Yeah, people used the sun before they used compasses, fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Oh yeah, okay. The first compasses in medieval Europe were around 1300. Okay, I suppose that's fair.
So anyway, I got this little guy when we were on the future tech continent, and he pulls out a magnetic compass.
What'd it do?
Oh, I guess they did have magic after all.
I swapped out the needle. This one will point to the highest concentration of magic in the area. And he hands it to Lily.
Got a toy.
Make sure the panels point the right way and it'll reflect properly.
And you know what? I bet it looks chintzy enough that Lily's going to 100% keep it and give it to the parents.
It's very utilitarian, actually.
Aw, dang it.
Steel frame, glass cover, small needle just sort of wiggling around, pointing foredecks.
Regardless. Yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
another new toy.
So, wait, if you're going to be planning the iron panels, so those things are 5 feet across.
Yeah, that's what confused me too.
Well, you got the hole, or you can use the bag if you want. That's easier. Might be
Well,
easier.
Bag is too small. The hole should work. That's how we got them on this ship in the first place. I'm just thinking, like, in terms of strength.
Well, you can borrow the belt if you want.
Bigger than she is.
She can just use the belt.
I guess I could use
21
the belt.
should be. Wait, was
Doesn't
it 21?
flatter me though.
Yeah, strength 21 should be good enough, right?
I
Yeah,
would hope so.
hill giant strength, after all.
Well, problem solved.
Guess I'll just take the headband off for now.
Yep.
So sad. This belt doesn't even. It doesn't look good. It's an ugly belt. Hate it.
I assume Lily wears the belt like over her shoulder, like she's a Final Fantasy character.
Just across the chest diagonally.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how you wear, right?
It looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now, next issue. Well, I'm sure there's a few, but the one that came to mind is if we're not supposed to split up the 4 people once we get there, what's Aurelia as Felicibel? I mean, what's she gonna say to all of them to explain this? Because otherwise, that might be mighty suspicious.
Well, hopefully there's going to be a couple of crowds there or something. Just create a distraction, some of your party disappears. You just pretend like you came on your own or something.
All right. Hope they're not paying too much attention.
I mean, probably not.
Well,
Their heads are shoved too far up their asses.
according to the letter, there's a lot of people who don't actually know each other on site running around there. Shouldn't be too much trouble.
Fair enough.
As I said, their heads are shoved too far up their asses to notice properly anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, of course, the last concern is that anybody infected with the worm there would recognize us here in this room on site. Hopefully, they can't just see through a seeming.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
The worm doesn't seem to be omniscient, so it should be possible, at least.
Hopefully they don't have true sight.
You can just sneak past that.
True.
Yeah, you two are taking lessons on that, as I recall. 2 of you were, anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, do you really need lessons when you're perfect at it?
exactly.
I'm not talking about you.
I stuck past.
Your form is shit.
All right. Well,
Utilitarian. Gets the job done.
Alright, well, only 4 people are going to be able to get off this ship. So, I'm gonna be stuck here waiting for you.
well, I mean, if we're relying on seeming to hold up, in theory, I mean, we could probably sneak a 5th person on with, invisibility or something, or even mundanely, by Lily or whatever. Unless you think they're gonna like
Ancient history, Grenache.
have
He still remembers.
Unless they've got like, well, I guess we don't know exactly what they've got. Only 4 people get off, but it does seem like it shouldn't be that hard. Like if we're relying on seeming to fool them all, then I don't see why we wouldn't be able to sneak a 5th person off. Besides Bobbin just not wanting to have Harvey have something to do.
Well, I just remember. I remember what Lily was saying about that sort of field that detects illusions back on North, back in that palace that she had to infiltrate.
Right.
Yeah, remember that time that also Lake got hit with that from a staff?
Yeah, I figure they're going to be polite about illusions, but not about invisibility.
Oh, I see. So they'll know that we're using an illusion, but they're not going to look past it.
Yeah.
It's a societal thing, really. A lot of people around here use it.
I mean, given if they have detect magic around, then they'd be able to see the illusion magic that would mask us, and they wouldn't bat an eyelid. But if they see like a one person that doesn't exist somewhere, that's going to raise alarm bells.
Right, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right.
This is going to be risky enough without me just getting in the way. Anyway,
Shame.
work on your accents, those of you who can actually speak Elven.
Everyone but me.
I've, just to be safe, I'm going to be using Major Image to create copies of some of those other mages we saw down in the Fallen Arrows Sanctum. I figure if we copy actual people, it's going to be more realistic. Just in case someone recognizes who Veristim is with.
That's fair. Hopefully remember their names. So we don't get into a weird situation where
Everybody
someone calls
looks
out a
at
name.
Lake.
Why?
This Lake's good with Lake has literally remembered every name of every person that we have run into on this adventure because I take extensive notes.
Look, I don't know why you'd have trouble remembering Queen Panera's name, okay?
Okay, well, anyway, I mean, Aurelia was the one who spent the most time with them, I think, so she would also have a good chance of remembering names.
I mean, I still remember our good dragon friend Macaroni.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was Mikhail.
Sure.
Macaroni.
All right, okay.
Maybe it's best that she doesn't get to talk.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. This sounds fine. I'm down with this plan. I've always wanted to be a terrorist. Just kidding.
Finally admit it. I've known you for 4 years and you finally admit it. Turns out I've been a cop this whole time. I haven't been a cop.
Lake would be a cop, wouldn't he?
No, they wouldn't.
Can't believe Kalen's a fucking narc.
I know.
All right, so yeah, okay, are we good then? We're just gonna make our preparations off screen. Aurelia is gonna go hard on the whole accent practicing thing.
Yeah,
All
Lake
right.
will practice the accents.
All right. So, preparations underway. Roles settled. Time passes, and you eventually arrive at Wemby Kaitor, the greatest of worms.
Sounds fake.
Really just right out there. Big, bold signs, aren't they?
When has the worm ever been known for subtlety?
Most of the time, actually.
Yeah, like 99% of the time we've been dealing with the worm.
I feel like the lack of subtlety here really has more to do with the elves than it has to do with the worm.
When
Yeah.
have elves ever been known for their subtlety?
Okay, there you go.
When have elven wizards ever been known for their subtlety?
Well, you do have one that always seems to fade into the background.
That's true.
That's.
But that's because he's a nerd.
I was saying, he's the rare elf with no self-esteem.
No elf-esteem.
All right. So,
Stop picking on my
You-
character, guys.
hey, it's my character. Go ahead.
The
Anyway.
only elf without an ego this size of Hoboken.
So, you travel to the appointed place at the appointed hour, and as the sun sets beautifully between the cloud layers, your ship comes in for a landing at one of the dry docks that line the edge of this city on a floating island. Once your ship settles in, you are met by a rather officious looking person, a gray elf, just like all the others, with particularly almost white blonde hair, and what appears to be a rather dark uniform with the emblem of the fallen arrows as a crest embroidered onto the chest. As he approaches the ship and sees the group of you disguised as Isabel and company, he stands on the edge of the dock as if waiting for something.
I do the hand
Watch him
signal.
hand sign.
And sign.
Oh. Very good, but which of you is Isabel? Sir Isabel?
That would be myself. Municipal Veristim.
Very good. Please inform your cohorts that only you are allowed to provide that sign.
I didn't realize everyone else was doing it too. All right. Yes. Aurelia turns and so, I presume Aurelia was sort of standing slightly to the front and can plausibly claim not to have seen it. She will turn and reprimand, gently but firmly reprimand the three of them for
Two.
reasons. I told the three of you that only I am to give the sign, please. You're embarrassing me.
Yes, the sign indicates that you are of rank 3. There will be other signs given to you by the others in the assembly. You don't know what they are because they are of a higher rank than yours.
Of course.
Those of second rank do not have a sign, therefore we require that you bring them with you at all times. Should one of your company be found alone and in a place that they should not be, then I am afraid your chances for promotion will be forfeit, and you shall be escorted to your ship to leave immediately afterwards.
Naturally. I assure you, none of my competitors be so foolish as to
Yes.
try to disobey the rules of our august institution. They're all quite. They all understand what a privilege it is to accompany me here.
Of course. And also, be aware that those of a higher rank are aware of which signals belong to those of lower ranks.
Of course.
So don't attempt to make something up in order to, attempt to look bigger than you are, perhaps, it will only result in you looking foolish.
Of course. Never dream of such a thing.
No, I believe that's the most of it. Oh yes, if you have any house slaves on board, I'm afraid they must stay on your ship. We have unseen servants for you and each of your guests. But this event requires more secrecy than the lesser races are able to maintain.
Yes, naturally.
Very well. But there is one thing. That is a very non-elven ship you have. I must ask you how you came to arrive on it.
Okay. Time to think quickly. All right. Okay. Perfect answer. This old thing. Well, yes, it is quite unusual design, but I must say, personally, I quite enjoy it. I actually won it, if you'd believe, in a in a card game with Vericel Leukemio.
Leukemia.
Yeah, so surely you've heard of him. Well, he's not from here, but he's not a member of our August institution, as one might say. But charming fellow, quite sporting. I'm not sure where he got it from. It wove me this sort of strange story about. Well, you know the okay, I forget what it's called. The elves who come from space or whatever.
All of them.
The Elven Imperial Navy.
Yeah, well, you know the Elven Imperial name. And, well, apparently some they weren't elves, but some other creatures, one might say, from the same sort of area. He got it off them, according to his story. Now, quite fanciful. Might have made the whole thing up, but it was quite a rollicking tale, if you know what I mean. So yes, but well, he was down to his last whatever we use for currency. Down to his last gold piece and last platinum piece, obviously high stakes, as it were. And well, he really thought he had a good hand, but I certainly showed him. But he was quite sporting about it. Quite sporting. Gave me the whole rundown. It's quite a marvelous thing. If you'd like me to give you the tour, I'll be more than happy to.
You can finish off now and just roll deception. Before I give you disadvantage.
Oh, surely that should give me advantage, because this guy is totally tuned out by this point.
This is the worst, and I hated every second of it.
Fuck, why do I roll so badly?
Oh no.
That was such a good lie.
Well, let's see. Oh, well, fanciful it may be, but that construction is evidence enough that sort of odd company he kept. Well, go on then.
So he
Enjoy
either
your time here.
So he either bought it or he's pretending that he bought it and setting us up. Either way.
Nah, he bought it.
I would actually like to roll insight on his
Go
insight. I can
Why not? I will as well. I've been quiet this whole
find
time.
insight. Oh well.
I'll roll insight as a joke, you see.
I love that the first name that came to my head was Leukemio. I don't know where that came from.
Sounds like a disenchanted elf name. Alright, so Grenache and Lake both notice that his expression brightens up considerably as he laughs about the strange origin. Doesn't seem like he's suspicious at all.
Okay.
What the fuck? This
So-
man's an idiot.
So he just rolled like dog shit. Got it.
Aurelia's just that good.
Yeah.
Well, he probably just doesn't have great insight. I mean, these guys are
I
all
sure don't.
wizards, right? Like, well, I guess they're not all wizards. This guy might not be a wizard. Does this guy look like a wizard?
Yes.
Okay, well, wizards have shit wisdom, so he probably has bad insight.
Well, they don't often invest in it, but anyway. So, your group proceeds out of the docks. You slowly collect together with the parties brought by other ships that, like I said, line the outer perimeter of this island. And you do note, by the way, that all of the docks have bottoms to them, something to rest on, because while the flying ships float constantly, spelljammers require someone at the helm to keep them afloat when they're in a planetary gravity.
Fair.
Anyway, you proceed up some stairs, down some corridors, through some beautiful gardens that are immaculately kept. Although, at the moment, you don't see any sort of servants running around keeping the gardens immaculate. Although you do see refreshments and platters of hors d'oeuvres floating around.
Fucking unseen servants.
Yes. And before long, just by following the flow of the some of whom appear to know where they're going already, you are able to enter into a fairly large open-air chamber. It's sort of got a domed ceiling, but the sides are held up by pillars rather than walls, allowing a nice evening breeze to blow through the event space. There are enough people here that if several of them were to disappear, no one would immediately notice.
Sounds like a good time to disappear.
Yeah, sounds like a good time to disappear.
Yeah.
All right, but if you may want to create a distraction, you should explain exactly what kind of distraction you're going for.
Well, I mean, distraction is tough because it would probably require Aurelia to draw a lot of attention to herself somehow. Probably not what we want to do for other reasons.
Well, you got a musical instrument on your back, don't you?
That is true. But I don't know, are these the kind of people who'd be receptive to an impromptu musical performance?
They are elves.
All right. Well,
That's
if
a bit
Aurelia
racist, isn't it?
If Aurelia can find a good excuse to perform something, then she'll go for it.
Yeah, you might not want to admit that you're actually a bard here,
Oh, no,
but
of course not.
in terms of just producing music or being musicians, that is certainly a thing that elves welcome.
Perfect. I'm sure Aurelia can think of some kind of song that these elves would appreciate. A song about how great it is to be an elf. Or maybe they'd prefer something without lyrics, you know? That seems like their style, given all the classical music that we've been listening to.
Make the most sense.
Would you like me to do a performance?
Yes.
All right. Maybe roll well for once, please. Okay, good enough.
All right. Now everybody who's leaving will need to roll a stealth check.
Ah, stealth check, you say?
Stealth.
Oh man.
Well, I got almost as high as I possibly can.
Is it just normal roll or advantage?
I have magic items that let me have advantage.
But yes, Aurelia is giving you advantage.
Oh, okay, that too.
Okay.
No man advantage, you say?
Good thing I have advantage.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Same number. Go figure.
Yes, except in Grunash's case, that's all dexterity minus all proficiency.
So yeah, Aurelia, you produce your harp. It's properly fancy, being a magic item from a acclaimed gnomish bardic college. And basically you say, I heard this one is popular among our southern kin. I call it a Song of the South.
No!
Oh, God.
And that's why you run away.
Can't believe Aurelia's canceled.
These guys would appreciate it, though.
They would, and that's the problem.
Well, look. Anything for the mission.
Look, all I'm saying is there's a reason we're killing them all.
Yeah. That's fair.
All
By
right.
the way, did Temper notice any worms around?
She has been very quietly, because she's supposed to be an arcane staff right now, been noticing that, yes, there are multiple people present who are infected with the worm.
They're all wormed up.
Yes, it is not the entire crowd, and in fact, it is not a majority of the crowd, but it is a significant percentage.
Interesting.
Is there any sign of the slaves being infected at all?
You haven't met any yet. They are all being confined to their ships.
And
Okay.
I really doubt that any of the slaves would be, considering they don't even infect like level 2 or 3 members, apparently. Or maybe even
Yeah.
level 4 members.
If there are any infected non-elves on the continent, they would not be here either way.
Fair enough.
So, we'll be doing this the old-fashioned way. By which I mean I will be having you guys roll initiative to see who we follow first.
Oh boy, I can't wait to go.
Alright.
Fucking there we go.
No bonuses. Just
Well-
a die roll.
Oh, okay, well.
Okay, guess what? That's still a 3. Or if
Right,
I roll initiative.
Oh, I need to roll initiative? Sorry, I was...
Yeah, just a d20.
Just a d20? Not...
Yeah, I mean, this isn't based on dexterity. We're just choosing who goes, what,
We
whose section
split
I
the
talk
party.
about first.
Nothing can go wrong.
Honestly, I think it's better to go last here, but that's just me.
Well, keep in mind that Rari's telepathic bond was cast on all of you before you left the ship. And so all of you have a chance to basically listen in, tell each other what you're doing, and provide color commentary.
Blake is a nerd.
I know you are, but what am I?
What an amazing comeback, my god.
Maybe a little more color. And... So, we are sticking with Aurelia as everybody else splits up. The first thing you notice after your impromptu performance is over, is that one of the people watching you and politely clapping at your skill is a female elf. Looks relatively old. It's a bit hard to tell with elves, but they do eventually start showing signs of age. Who has strawberry blonde hair which is quite rare among the elves in your current company.
Fair.
And is one of the descriptors given to you by the red elves of what Hanara looks like.
Hmm.
Congrats on finding the queen.
Nice. Well,
Queen Panera.
how do I handle this? I attack. No. Aurelia, takes a very small bow to show her appreciation for the applause, and so looking at. See, I don't know if Felicia would I know whether Felicabelle would recognize her.
Well,
Did Felicabelle ever mention her? I mean, she did write. So
The letter was from her.
yeah, I'm just
And it was
assuming.
addressed
Yeah,
to
I mean, I feel
Felicabelle.
like he probably would know which. All right. So I mean, she's not going to say anything that could give her away too much, but just sort of make eye contact with her as Aurelia just sort of thanks the crowd for the applause. Oh yes, I'm so glad that you all enjoyed that, and I'm desperately praying right now that Felicabelle does in fact know how to play the harp, because that would be fucked up if someone knew that he didn't. No, really, it's not into elves. Once you go scaly, you never go back. Once you go Diamondback, you never go back. Sorry, I was trying to think of a snake that rhymed with it.
I'm more of a California king snake person.
Right. All right. So yeah, but she's not going to go out of her way to address Hanera. Just sort of, make eye contact.
All right. I mean, she is mingling with the crowd at the moment.
Sure. Well, I was more interested to see if she would approach me, but
She doesn't seem to show any particular interest in you once your performance is over.
all right. Well,
But
maybe really will hang around nearby to her a few minutes and just see if,
having been in
she can
these
overhear
kinds
anything.
of parties before, you know that you do have an opportunity to speak with her in person, so long as you probably keep it brief.
Yes. All right. Well, in that case, what would I say?
And I do have one question.
Yes.
Have you brought Errol with you?
Would I have reason to think that that's a good idea?
Well, wizards do have familiars, but
Yeah.
and Errol could be covered by an illusion, same as everybody else, by the seeming.
Right. All right.
And you would have had an opportunity to know what familiar shape Felicabelle prefers for his familiar.
All right. Then I guess so. What is the shape that Felicabelle familiar prefers?
Let's say dark gray lizard.
Okay. Errol, it's very important that you don't fly while we're here. You are disguised as a dark gray lizard.
Been perched on your shoulder this whole time.
All right. Yeah, so I suppose Aurelia will take the opportunity, if it arises, to I mean, I guess she'll just say something, suitably obsequious. Fuck. Sorry, I'm kind of blanking on what unappropriate thing to say would be. Like just something kind of trivial. I don't know.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, my lady. Or what would the appropriate form of address be?
Her Majesty.
Your
She's a
Majesty.
queen.
Yes, she is a queen, right? Your Majesty, I just wish to thank you for the opportunity to attend here and for the
yes.
trust that has been placed in me.
You are Sir Varistim, as I recall.
I am, my lady, and I'm so honored to.
You made a very favorable impression last year.
Oh yes, well, I did try my best.
Very good. And as you've come up to Hanera, Errol pokes you in the back of the neck with his tail.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a vision of his sensory perception, which is that there is no smell profile coming off of her, and the wind is not adjusting for her presence.
She's an illusion, all right.
Not actually.
You may roll Arcana. Ah, so you have heard of this one. There is a spell, one of the most powerful spells a wizard can cast, called Project Image. It allows a wizard to appear to be in two places at once, and those places can be as many as 500 miles apart. If this is not actually her, then she may not actually be anywhere near here. She may be back home still, or somewhere close to it.
Dang it. Here, I thought we were gonna commit fucking regicide. Yeah, that would have ruled.
No, I am not surprised by this. I feel like
No queen would be that stupid.
Yeah.
well, no, not that you wouldn't be that stupid. Just
No
that
wizard queen would be that stupid.
narratively. No, I mean, look, okay, this is a little metagaming, but just narratively, I feel like if we're gonna have a boss fight, it's gonna be like after we do this.
Also, she's a wizard queen in a land full of backstabbers.
So this doesn't surprise me that much. It might surprise Aurelia a little, but probably even then, I mean, it makes sense. It's a way of protecting yourself.
Plus, the schlep.
Sorry, what?
Plus, you don't have to worry about the schlep when you can commute remotely.
Right. That makes sense. All right. Well, that's fine. Aurelia will pretend not to notice.
All right. Yes. You also get the feeling that there may be others present here who also know that she isn't here, and they are also politely acting as if she is.
Right.
All right. So that's it for your part for now.
All right.
So we move on to Lily.
Oh, hey, what? Oh, yeah. So I'm currently running from point to point with this magic compass to plant these fucking plates.
All right. You have 16 plates
Jesus.
place that are basically around the perimeter. So in other words, you actually, the docks cover the perimeter as well. So that's basically where you find yourself throughout most of this, is that you have to plant these things in soft ground in order for them to stick in place.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are basically trying to find garden areas that are close to the edge. And meanwhile, you are just sort of ducking past the groups of guests that are still filing in. The occasional guard member of this society who are patrolling the area, watching for guests, making sure none of them wander into the wrong areas. So, I'm going to need several roles.
Yeah!
Number 1 being stealth, number 2 being investigation, find good spots, and number 3 being athletics.
Okay, so there's stealth. That is incorrect. That is a 26. Investigation. And
That is
athletics,
correct.
you said.
With your new modified strength bonus.
Let's see, 21 would make that 5 now.
5, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, this will be the hardest one. I'm better at acrobatics than athletics.
Mhm.
Ugh. God damn it.
Yes. So, here's what happens. You're able to get from point to point fairly easily. This is what you're good at. You're able to find good locations to place the metal plates between the compass and your own ability to find exactly what you're looking for. That's no trouble at all. However, actually pulling the plates out of your portable hole, standing them up, and then poking them into the ground hard enough for them to stick at just the right angles, that's taking a while. And as such, someone is able to spot you in the process of doing this, in the process of placing one of these metal plates. And it's one of the guard members. He just sort of goes up and says, hey, what do you think you're doing?
I'm actually setting up for the show later.
Remember that they're speaking in Elven and you can't.
Oh, shit. I just point to my mouth and make a clasping motion with my hand, show that I can't actually talk.
Roll deception.
Okay. Simple enough. Finally, I'm using the skill. That is incorrect. It's a 23.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I'm still afraid I don't know what you're doing here. You're not doing this for society business, I don't think. At least they haven't said anything about it to me.
This is the hard part. You know what? I'm just gonna make a minor illusion real quick to show what it's for, which is basically they're gonna be bouncing lights off of it for a bigger event later on.
Alright. Let's see. I'm going to have you roll Arcana to make the illusion as useful as possible to understand. Oh, I see. Seems like it would be quite nice. But I'll have to speak with someone about this. It's not proper to have someone... Oh, wait. What level are you?
I actually show him the level 3 hand sign.
Really? You... Just level 3?
I just give him a shrug. I guess it is.
Roll deception.
God. It's again minimum of 23.
I suppose it would make sense they'd have you doing the grunt work then.
Yeah, I give him a quick nod.
Still, you're level 3. You should really be with the rest of the crowd in the party. So, if you're doing this, then hurry it up.
I once again give him a quick nod and then a little quick bow before moving on.
Well. Alright. That's it for Lily.
Behold the power of bullshit.
You managed to lie without speaking. That's great, and I love it.
Grenache.
Yep.
Your task is a bit harder in that you're going to have to enter the main buildings in the center, the places that are strictly off limits for this particular gathering. Which means that you will start to glow as your illusory self enters an area that is being guarded by one of the anti-illusion fields. So what I am going to need is a stealth check, and then a second stealth check with disadvantage.
Oh boy. So, normal stealth. Okay.
That gets you to the place where you need to go to enter the building.
And then with disadvantage.
Oh no.
That's about right.
That's such a good roll too, the other one. Aw.
Second 18, yeah. Yes, you enter through the door, start immediately looking around for a place to duck out of the way, but as you start glowing, you makes it a bit hard to see exactly where you are in that moment, and you hear someone from behind you go, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" You can turn around and lie, or the path ahead of you is still, there's no one immediately there. Could make a break for it.
Well, they said that I was good on my feet, so let's hit the trail.
You
Nice.
can just leave. You can
I
just
go.
leave.
There's nothing keeping me here. I just go.
So you're running?
Yep.
Alright. That'll be athletics.
Athletics. Okay.
Oh no.
See, why couldn't it be acrobatics at least? Oh well.
Because you're not climbing on the outside of the building. So you only get to the antechamber. You only get to one of the inner doors of the antechamber. By the time the guard runs up, grabs your arm, pulls you around, goes, "Now what's all this? Now what is it that you..."
You alright?
Just dropping into several wrong accents.
First it was whatever it was, then it was whatever it was, then it was horse.
Stop right there. Why in the world? Why have you come in here? What are you doing? Why did you try to run?
Just because you're in a hurry.
quick reminder, if you whisper things to him, he will be able to hear them.
Just say you
Yeah,
were in
exactly.
a hurry. Just say you were in a hurry. Grenache, just
I'm
for the love of the...
late. I'm late. I must hurry.
Hurry where? Well, one of the guests, aren't you? I don't recognize you.
Hmm. While I'm musing over this, I do try to communicate with Temper. I just ask, is this one Wormbait?
He is, yes.
Punch him.
Just knock him out. Just knock him out.
Destroy him with your kung fu.
Yeah, you know what? This seems like a good opportunity for a bit of a cheap shot, so... Yeah,
Just
I'll go
one
for a
punch.
stunning strike.
Wanted to punch his face in.
Alright, yeah, let's see, that's, Constitution, right?
Constitution on hit, yeah.
DC?
Con save, I'm assuming it's the same DC as my spell save, which is 18.
Yeah, it would be specific for your monk, but I believe monks are also wisdom-based.
Wisdom-based. Yeah. So it'd be the same either way.
Alright. Oh yeah. Key save DC is based on wisdom. Alright, so yeah, you punch him in the neck. And I assume to sort of grab him, go through the doorway that you were at, and then just beat him unconscious.
Pretty much.
I'm just imagining that one part from Pan's Labyrinth where the guy just like starts beating him that man's face in with a flashlight.
It's fine. Grenache doesn't kill people.
I mean, this one is infected, so the thought would cross my mind, but I've got bigger things to deal with, and if I knock him out, you know, it won't be people looking for a murderer.
Much like everyone's favorite thug, Cosmic Kiryu, Grenache has never killed a man.
Alright. So, roll stealth again, and then roll perception or investigation.
Okay, stealth again first. Okay, that's decent. And what was the two rolls again, sorry?
That's the you successfully stashed the body. And perception or investigation.
Perception or investigation.
You are attempting to navigate the building complex in order to find the right way to go.
Jeez, you got +5.
Alright. It's going to be taking a while, which is a great time to go over to Lake. Lake, you are basically heading straight back to the perimeter and attempting to dodge past the parties of elves and the guards in order to find the slaves, talk with them, and convince them all to evacuate onto one ship in particular. So, that is going to be a series of rolls for you. First of all, stealth to get past the patrols.
Alright, and I am wearing a bunch of magic items that help with that, so advantage 20, and they have disadvantage on perception checks to find me.
All right. Second check is going to be investigation, in order to find a likely ship that could hold all of the crewmen that you're going to be convincing to get off their
Right.
individual ships.
You know what? Just because that's below 10, I'm gonna lucky that real quick. I'll take the 14.
All right. Well, you didn't actually have to roll too very high because there is a rather large ship with giant diaphanous butterfly wings. It
Alright.
looks
really do.
It looks like probably a spelljammer, so you could pilot it.
Awesome.
They really do nothing in half measures, do they?
Nope. That is canon for spelljammer, by the way.
Yeah, they just make spelljammers out of bugs.
No, they grow their ships.
Oh, that too.
And they grow their ships to have giant diaphanous butterfly wings, because they're elves, damn it. Alright, and lastly I'm going to need... Let's make it 3. 3 charisma rolls. Dealer's choice.
Oh, okay, well, persuasion will be the... Like, persuasion and deception are both the same, so I might as well just go with persuasion, try and tell the truth. So 29? I'm gonna lucky that one. There's no way it can be any lower. Not much higher, but...
It's an improvement.
Yeah, and then 23.
Alright. Most of the slaves are perfectly willing to go along with this. They are poorly treated and at best ignored, and all treated as less than a person. So when you show up and tell them, hey, this is a disguise, we're terrorists, we're taking down this whole damn city, but we're going to be saving your lives. They're like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do this.
Fuck them.
I'm surprised more of them aren't suspicious, to be honest.
Well, that middle roll,
Yeah.
some of them are, in fact, suspicious. And, or they're relatively well treated, or they just fear the unknown of being outside of their master's control. Just a variety of reactions that aren't helpful at this moment. So when we get back around the lake, you're going to have to convince the holdouts that maybe staying on this island is not a good idea.
Yeah. I will update my party. It's like, hey, I got most of the elves on board with this plan, but give me...
Slaves.
Yeah, I got most of the slaves. I almost said elves again. I got most of the slaves on board with this, but I'm gonna need a couple minutes for some others that need to not be super into the idea of trusting a guy who looks like an elf, saying, hey, I'm not actually an elf, I'm setting you free. Which, honestly, a bit too good to be true, so, hey.
Understandable, just do what you can. I just had to knock a guy out who's taken by worms, so I'll have to...
I'm sorry, what? What did you do?
I'm not as good as you, okay?
What does that mean? What did you do?
Like, the thing started glowing and I got spotted. Look, just don't worry about me, I'm fine. The guy's knocked out, he's not going to be a problem. I need to find a way down here. What's that?
Said Lake learned to talk better.
I made a pact with an eldritch god in order to get better talking. I can't talk much better than I can talk right now.
I convinced a man that I'm starting a light show without even talking.
That's because the man you were talking to is an idiot.
You're right, but also...
Aurelia, we're back around to you. Most of the guests have finished filing in. You're you're pretty sure that everybody who's going to come has come because, number one, the venue is pretty packed at this point. I mean, for being a upper class party, at least, it's pretty packed. You also note that the time has come because one of the Guard Society members comes up next to the illusion of Hanaria, whispers in the appearance of her ear, at which point she nods, whispers back, and just sort of claps her hands for attention, and heads up onto the stage at one end of the venue. This is what you stepped onto to perform your own music, and it's where the musicians... Well, it's where other society members have also performed. You sort of started a trend.
Nice.
But now it's empty aside from Hanera, who, once she sees, she has everyone's attention, says, "Welcome all to this annual get-together of the Fallen Arrows Society. As you can tell by our new surroundings, the Society's fortunes have been rather going up in recent days." Scattered applause, scattered laughter. Some of it sounds a little louder than it should be. Quiet. The main focus of this year's meeting is the rollout of a new magical technology that I and my sister have happened across. Just last year, my sister and I discovered a new way to communicate across any distance without any interference whatsoever. It has allowed me and my sister to speak with each other whenever we wish.
They developed the internet?
Often as we wish. And might I say, it has been refreshing to hear my sister next to me once again. While I have nothing against my husband and brother-in-law, it has been, well, honestly, rather miserable to be away from my twin sister, because we have married into two of the crowns of Elven society. And as a matter of fact, she has come here today to be with us all in this, our hour of triumph. And another elven woman, same age, same hair, just about the same features, comes from around the edge of the venue to step up next to Hanera and hold her hand. So, at this moment, you can roll investigation.
Sure.
Okay, so it's not obvious how that's happening, but if you have any hypotheses, they're probably right.
Hmm.
Yes, good to see you again, sister. So glad that we can meet face to face on this occasion. Yes, sister. Quite so. Now, we've already rolled out this new technology amongst the 6th tier members, and the 5th tier members. And as of today, the 4th tier shall be joining us. And those new members of the 3rd tier who have come to be with us for promotion shall also be inducted into this new collective. We shall be able to speak to one another whenever we wish, no matter what amount of distance lies between us. We shall be a collective of intelligence, the likes of which even the Grey Elves have never seen before. And perhaps together we shall finally be able to come up with the magical spells needed to finally put an end to slavery, so that we can contemplate a final solution as to the disposition of the lesser races.
Oh, God! Oh, wow!
Getting
You
rid
don't
of
know the
slavery,
concept
that
of
sounds pretty
subtlety,
good to
do
me.
you?
Roll insight.
Jesus! Final solution. Jesus.
Yes,
Bobbin,
well,
you're
get it.
really just hammering it in. Almost no subtlety.
That sounds good to Aurelia. Maybe we can judge these people.
With an 11, you can at least feel suspicious.
All right.
That, maybe this racist society getting rid of slaves isn't necessarily going to make life better for the former slaves.
Right.
Jesus Christ. This is not where I expected this to go.
Bobbin putting the fucking Third Reich in his game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's keep going.
All right, well, unless you want to do anything in particular, that will be the end of the section.
Oh, all right. No, Aurelia is just watching for now.
All right, and sending back pertinent summaries of the speech.
Yes.
Final
also-
solution.
And also probably also mentioning that, the co-chair is apparently the twin sister of the other co-chair.
Yeah.
And both of them are queens on opposite sides of the continent.
Yeah, that's impressive, I guess.
Lily,
Yeah.
let's just take stealth as a given and roll investigation and athletics one more time. It is actually easier at this point. People with the big presentation taking place. Even the support members of the society have gone inwards to listen in. So there's fewer people around.
Also, that is incorrect. That is, in fact, a 24.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics. Oh, God. What the fuck?
Still struggling.
The same guard comes up. Oi, what you doing?
No, it's literally the same roll I made last time.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's the same guard who's coming up and be like, what are you doing here? Come on.
All right. Well, you don't get interrupted, but the problem this time is that you won't be finished by the time that Grunash finds the power source,
Okay.
which may create complications for Grunash.
Grenache, I have very bad news.
What's up?
You might need to wait a little bit.
Okay.
Good, you're giving me time to talk
Just
some sense
try
to these
and-
slaves.
Just try and go as fast as you can, at least.
That's the problem. Okay.
Right.
Super strong, but also still pretty tiny compared to these giant
These
metal
plates
plates.
are bigger than me.
And I thought that belt would help.
It does, but also it's a matter of physics.
All right. Grunash, another stealth check and another perception check.
pretty sure these plates weigh more than me.
And perception, you said?
Yeah. Honestly, depending on how thick they are, the plates might weigh more than a human.
I was gonna say, like, Lily's 60 pounds soaking wet.
All right. Let me just roll for luck here. All right. There are more members of the society down here in the underworks. However, Temper's ability to point them out has helped you stay away from them, even though you do continue to glow. Unfortunately, turning off the seeming for you in particular would turn it off for everybody, so that's a no-go.
Yeah.
And on your own, you are able to basically intuit your way into figuring out where the stairs are, which way they go, finding your way into less refined and more industrial parts of the underworks. A place where, visitors don't go for fun, but where people need to go for work. And with a 24, you do in fact get there. By the time Lily says, Grenache, I've got a problem. I've got some bad news.
Okay, I feel I'm getting close, so I might just try and stay low. Make sure I'm ready for when we're ready to put the show on.
All right. And as your penalty, roll stealth again.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hey!
Ah,
Now that's more like it.
thank you for picking up my mess.
Lake,
Yes.
roll 2 charisma checks, not persuasion this time.
Oh, okay.
They didn't bite. You gotta find some other way to convince them to evacuate.
I can't tell them about this final solution thing that literally was just said not to. Oh, that's right. This is happening before that.
This is happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Number 1, simultaneity. Number 2, they wouldn't necessarily believe you.
fair enough. So I've got a pretty good deception score. So
They don't know about Germany. They don't know it's a so
okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Technically, that I don't know the result of that 4 yet. Can I lucky that 4?
this will be your last one.
Yeah, I know. So
And then Bobbin
20
hits you with another check.
20 and 26.
All right, that'll do. Well, exactly how do you deceive them?
God, how would I deceive them? Trying to think.
How are you going to convince these holdouts to get onto the boat?
I would 100% tell them the truth if I knew what the truth was at the moment. But
Well, the thing is that you did that.
yeah, and then
They're fighting. So what are you saying next?
that you know what? Just because I don't know that it's the truth yet, I'm gonna say, well, like, I heard them talking earlier, and and turns out like they're talking about like maybe finding some, like, this is a complete fucking lie to me, the person who doesn't know that this is actually happening yet. But basically I'm saying they're finding a way to get rid of slaves, but what makes you think that would be good for you, the slave?
So you're basically just going around saying, "Listen, they're planning to kill you all." It's
Yeah. I'm telling them the truth, but I don't know it's the truth, so I'm technically lying to them.
and again, the reference was for your benefit. They
Yeah.
haven't really
Yeah.
come
yeah,
up with a plan yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I'm still. They're gonna kill you all eventually. Like, what's the point of sticking around if they're just gonna fucking murder you anyway? So, hop on the big butterfly ship. I will take you away from here. Live.
all right. Okay, thought so. Doing a little multitasking here. With a 20 and a 26, that is enough to get the last of the holdouts to the fairly large ship that you point them towards. And now, roll a 3 stealth checks, and you are helping the slaves themselves avoid notice. So this is going to be flat rolls, no advantage.
Okay, because basically I'd be getting disadvantage, but the advantage is canceling it out.
Exactly.
If I can find stealth, that would be fantastic. I'll get to 14, 13, 20.
All right. We'll see what happens. Aurelia,
Yes.
the groups are now, the group is now just sort of sorting itself out, with the 5s and the 6s apparently heading off towards one area, basically hovering over the orders and the drinks because they're not really needed. But the 4s and the potential 4s such as yourself and the potential 3s like the people you were supposed to bring are being directed in towards one of the inner buildings at this point.
Right.
So, you know that everything's in place. You need to get away from this before someone sticks a worm in your ear.
True. That said, is there value in seeing how they do it exactly?
No!
No.
Well,
Absolutely
okay, I mean,
not!
Aurelia would not go to the point of, okay, well, fine.
Keep in mind, they are able to hear you. Warrior's telepathic bond.
Yes, and that's
You are actually able to ask and get those answers.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
100% saying no in character.
Well, I mean, it's not like I would let them do it to me,
They
guys.
stick it in the ear.
Yeah, but how are they going to justify it? Like, I'm just curious. What is it that gets people to allow worms to be stuck in their ears? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Right, they're gonna convince them it's the tech. They were obviously just casting the same fucking spell.
So,
Right.
there are plenty of people here you can ask, so I'm going to ask you to roll persuasion to see if you can get any information
All right, that's fair.
from the 5s and the 6s who are part of this.
Use your bard powers.
Not the best, but I'll take it.
Why, yes. Well, as I recall, it involves strapping a device to the ear, waiting for about 5 minutes, and then removing it.
Oh, how unusual.
Yes, but it does involve adjustments to the head, and so it's understandable that it would require an attachment directly to that location.
Oh, I suppose. Does it feel strange at all?
Well, a bit, I suppose, but it was actually quite wonderful.
Oh, well, it's quite reassuring. Thank you. All right. Okay, that's enough.
Red
Time to go.
flags left and right.
All right. So, let's just think for a second. I could get away normally, or I could always, do something like use. Well, obviously, I want to be sneaky. Could I find an opportunity to perhaps cast invisibility on myself while no one is looking and just sneak out that way?
Well, you haven't encountered any of the illusion detecting fields, but you're not sure how many people have got magic eyes on, so to speak.
Right. I suppose. I can still try to be conventionally sneaky as well, right? It's just like...
Yes, it's just that being invisible will not confer advantage. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, if it's not going to help at all, then I suppose Aurelia will just try to sneak away in one.
Right, and once again, you do have an opportunity to create a distraction, not necessarily centered on yourself this time.
That's true. I do have minor... which I never really use, but might be useful here. Just something like when she gets a good opportunity, making the sound of something crashing down, breaking, or something like that. Just something enough to turn people's attention away from Aurelia. Create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. Any sound you choose.
So it can be a comment from someone who isn't actually standing there.
It could.
Or it could be the sound of plates crashing on the ground or something.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like just some kind of environmental... Yeah, like, a piece of furniture crashing down or something like that. Would be suitable. Just give Aurelia an opportunity to slip away.
Alright. So you can just sort of create a great big clump.
Yeah. Something that sounds like something expensive crashing. Breaking,
Crash. Alright. Yeah. Well, that is just enough to give you an opportunity to stealth away, as everybody turns to look to see what happened.
All right. Let's roll well, please. Oh, that's not good. Why do I roll so badly all the time?
Because you're me.
Release, Sibel. Why are you heading out that direction? The promotion exam is back towards the center of the island.
Need to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Go to the bathroom.
Well, who is it who's speaking to me right now?
Just
Me.
a guard.
Oh.
A guard. Okay. Let me think for a second. I really does not say that out loud.
Need to go to the bathroom. Nerves are wreaking hell in my stomach.
Yes, well, actually, I a little embarrassing. I was going to try to retrieve one of my companions who I believe stepped out to use the washroom and hasn't returned. I'm just a little concerned about him.
Deception.
Yes.
Please, before you dig yourself a deeper hole.
Oh, fine.
The bathroom is the perfect excuse for every occasion.
It is.
Really? Then why did you let your companion head off on their own in the first place?
Well, I didn't mean to let him head off, as it were, but I mean, one has certain natural needs. I mean, one cannot be expected to supervise one's companions even while performing their duties, as it were.
Planting some azaleas.
It's not, but I'm afraid that under the current circumstances, I should escort you there.
Well, hardly seems necessary, but I won't object if that if you
Yes,
deem it
quite.
so.
All you need to do is flush yourself
all right.
down the toilet.
Well, I'll go ahead and let this guy escort me, and once we're out of range, I'll have to use something on
Away from the
I don't have
party.
stuff anymore.
So what are you going to do?
Okay, what would the best thing
Not
be?
laughter, honestly, because laughter would draw too much attention from all the laughter.
Yeah, so I assume I can get him into a position where he's the only one nearby, right? Like,
Yes, and
all right.
you will have an opportunity to cast a spell. But for reference, suggestion can last 8 hours if you give a suggestion that can't be fulfilled until that point. So long as it sounds reasonable.
All right. Yeah, suggestion's probably the. All right.
God.
Use polymorph. God damn it.
Just the grossest noises coming from inside the bathroom.
Oh, I could have also just used friends when I was doing that check to make it more likely to succeed.
That backfires after a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A minute is too short.
Backfires hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes. I guess I will just cast suggestion.
There's a reason it's a cantrip.
All right, not good enough. So what's the suggestion?
The suggestion is, once we get out of the way, I'm sure I can take it from here. Why don't you return to the line, and then just don't worry about this until I come back and speak with you again.
Yes, of course.
Okay, perfect. So that will last the full 8 hours. I'll not worry about this until a time that is never happening. So, let's be real. This will last the rest of his life.
I mean,
In what a
it'll last
life
until
it'll
the
be.
magic just gets knocked out.
No, it's gonna rest the rest of his life.
Actually, how does that? That's a fair point.
It is concentration.
I guess it would knock out. Well, yeah. I mean, whatever. That's fine.
Knock out what?
The magic probably would fade away once
All hell breaks loose.
once the thing gets funky.
I hate that one persuasion harm mode, and here you are bumbling with it.
Might as well use my my spells while I have them, right? Okay, done.
Okay.
So yeah, really, we'll continue sneaking off then. Do I need another stealth roll?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Lily, let's get one last athletics
God!
and then a stealth.
Hey, the athletics is actually good for once.
Fucked up. So is the stealth.
Once you hear that Grenache is in place, you go, oh crap, I better actually use this damn belt. Honk! Honk! Honk!
I just start smashing it, trying to get it to work.
Now, that was the sound of you grabbing those iron plates and driving them into the ground as hard as you can, just bending them just good enough, running off to the next one.
Just plan each one down. Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Yeah. And fortunately, the fact that you are making a circuit of the island means you are back almost where you started from by the time you finish.
Ha, isn't that fancy? Isn't that great?
Oh, hey, Lily.
Fuck off.
Were you in the bathroom this whole time?
That was the worst. That's why I'm so sweaty right now. It was awful.
Grenache,
Yes.
roll perception.
Oh, Jesus
no.
Christ.
All right. Temper says, "It is time. Point me at the magic source." Which, by the way, you are in a fairly natural, although sort of evened out cavern. It's got a naturalistic look to it, but you can tell by how regular it is that it was either carved out in order to look regular or it was created by magic in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But in the center there is a stalactite and a stalagmite that sort of grow out of the floor and ceiling and reach towards this large glowing ball. Looks to be some sort of crystal or gemstone of massive size. Like if you put your two hands together with all the fingers touching, it would be a little bit bigger than that. It's glowing the same sort of purple color that you saw among the decorative gemstones floating above the spires above.
Okay, as soon as this hits, we need to run.
Yes. And magic will cease to work for an unknown time.
That's okay. I can cover myself there.
It will mean that I will not be able to hear you until we get clear.
Of course. Stay safe.
So long as you keep hold of me, that should not be a problem.
And there's nothing to worry about. Alright, let's do this.
All right. You can feel an incredible amount of energy charging out of your spear. As you recall, the Kirin is one of the few creatures that you have ever encountered able to cast spells out of the ninth circle. And it feels like this just as much power is coming out now in a great burst of dispel magic. Strong enough to disrupt even a magical item of this size and power. You're not sure if it's going to be permanent, but considering the island is floating, it's going to be long enough. Yeah, as the energy fires up, hits the gem, massive purple burst, shockwave emanates outwards. You feel nothing but a slight tingle as it crosses you. And those of you still on the surface of the island can see it clearly as this giant purple wave sweeps over the entire island, including your own location. Odaluke's sphere is doesn't last for too long, but thankfully Lorem, who is on the hot seat, was also part of the telepathic bond, and so he knew right when to cast it to keep the spell jamming helm safe.
Our good buddy Lorem here the entire time.
Yes.
No, he wasn't here the entire time, and that was the point.
Oh. I'm getting on the boat.
I really hope we're not floating over a populated area right now.
You are specifically floating over the ocean north of an island.
Nice.
That was part of the directions, and it is something you were clearly able to double check as you came into the island. Lake, before the purple wave hits, you are aware that it is going to hit soon, and it might take out the spell jamming helm of this ship that you're commandeering.
That's not good. I need that to free slaves.
Yes. Fortunately,
Also
you
to not die.
yeah, and fortunately, you have actually been quite efficient in going about your task.
Yeah, fuck you too, Bobbin.
Just saying, it's may have actually
See
been
how
a
it
good,
is?
just may have actually been a good thing, you know, because
See how it
Lake has an opportunity to cast off ahead of time.
Yes. Oh yeah, let's do it.
However,
Oh.
those stealth checks were pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so as you're herding one of the last groups of slaves to the butterfly ship, there is a cry of alarm because slaves are not supposed to be on the island itself. You have moments to react before the person who spot you runs away to get help or sets off something magical that will get everyone's attention.
What's the range on the jet?
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. I'm gonna get within 60 feet of him and cast.
Keep in mind this is an elf.
Oh, right.
And unlike Aurelia, you don't have
yep.
a grant disadvantage thing.
Yeah. Yep.
You do, however, have murder available.
I do have
Yeah.
murder available. And you know what? I'm at this
And this
point.
is basically full of mages.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna go big or go home, and he's eating a finger of death. So let me see what kind of save that is. I always forget. I think it's
believe it is Constitution.
Let's just say it's Constitution. It's a DC.
Constitution
19.
saving throw.
Oh, Constitution saving throw DC 19, and then I need to look up the 7d8 plus 30.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he fails, nice. Please tell me he fails. Just so that way something takes 69 damage. Anyway, if he fails, if he succeeds, he takes half of that, and if he's killed by this, he rises my turn as a zombie under my command.
Sadly,
Feels excessive.
he does just manage to succeed
Damn it!
and not die.
Damn it! Really, really hoping. Okay,
And he starts shouting loud enough for other people to hear him.
I'm gonna cast Blight on him now. Fuck it. He needs to make another Constitution saving throw, and
Oh, not this time.
okay. I need to look up how much damage Blight does, because it's been a hot minute since I've used it.
88.
88, and then it's actually 98 since I'm casting it as a 9th level spell.
Well, 5th, but yeah.
That's what I meant, 5th.
Damn, that'd be a real fucked up blight.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
So-
that does it. But you are already starting to hear people react.
Yep.
You will need to hurry.
Yeah, I shout at the slaves, hey, let's run, move, run, go, now.
Yes. Unfortunately, like I said, this is one of the last groups.
Yeah.
So there is one ship you don't manage to get to in time.
Rip.
But you are able to get onto the spell jamming helm, and you do have one spell left, right?
Yes. Actually, I have two because Finger of Death does not use one of my spell slots. It's one of my big things.
Crazy Arcana or whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's one of my big things that doesn't actually take up a spell slot. So I do have 2 spell slots left.
All right. So, lake is clear. Aurelia and Lily. The ground starts to shake, and gravity stops working correctly.
Shit.
I'm getting on the fucking boat.
You are close to your ship, but you will need to get there quickly in order to avoid dying.
Well, okay, but...
So I will need some sort of spell or ability or skill check in order to get there fast enough.
Oh, so the anti-magic stuff hasn't happened. Because I was going to say, if I know this is...
Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, skill checks.
Well, but if I knew this was coming, couldn't I have cast teleport before? Because we were coordinating, so Lorem was able to cast his spell right. So surely I could cast mine.
That's true.
Although it might not even be necessary.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Would I be able to make an acrobatics check?
Is this just because you want to?
Yes.
Same stuff.
If I can make an acrobatics check, then I would rather not use spell, so I have an to use acrobatics. If I cannot use acrobatics and I have to use athletics, then I will cast the spell to be safe. Because fuck athletics.
Acrobatics will work, but just saying, there's no going back through time. This is, if you make the acrobatics check, you will not have cast the spell in time.
Also, that is incorrect. That's 21. I run. Fuck this.
Yeah, but I mean, I like to live dangerously. Yeah.
There you go.
See,
All right,
never
yeah.
didn't have it.
So you may have been caught a bit off guard by the spell, but even as gravity stops working correctly, you are able to just sort of grab hand over hand along the grass, along the ground, throwing yourself forward as you start falling at the same pace as the island itself.
Right. I'm basically she's doing the bullshit Legolas does in The Hobbit or whatever. Just climbing up falling rocks.
Grenache.
Yep.
The same goes for you. Gravity has stopped functioning, so acrobatics can work in place of athletics.
Yep, and for the record, I am putting everything into this. I am bursting steps, the wind is going. I am bolting.
Oh, yes. I'm still going to need a couple of acrobatics checks rather than just one.
Okay.
Just make it a nice 3.
Well, that's a stumbling block. Okay. Average. Wait for that one, and about average.
All right.
20 is above average.
Also, it's not really relevant, but just out of curiosity, would Aurelia be able to use Misty Step within the anti-magic thing because it's in like an inherent racial ability rather than a spell for her?
There is a specific rule about this. If an ability uses the word magic or magical in its description, then it will be affected by an anti-magic field.
Boom.
Okay. So now I need to find his description. Well, not that it necessarily matters.
Yeah. Mordenkainen's. Alright. Anyway. So. Grenache is off to a rough start. And he does make it outside the building as all the people, it just sort of bursts out into the antechamber is now actually full of people panicking, bouncing off the walls, screaming, attempting to cast spells that aren't working. So
It's beautiful.
I'm going to need some sort of check that will get you to the other side, or to the other door that is not acrobatics.
Sure is a shame that Lily can't see it, because she would just be drinking the shit in. God,
Also,
lizards who are
seeming is
racist
now
and horrible.
gone, so they can see the grin ashes and all.
Yeah, they've got better things to worry about, though.
God, just the idea of these shitty elven wizards unable to use magic trying to use magic is just delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The Eladrin trait Face Step specifically says magically teleport.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, could I make an argument for using survival on this? Being able to navigate my way through dense areas, trying to just cut a path through with as little resistance as possible.
I don't believe survival would work for that, but for the description you're offering, perception would fit.
Well, I have nothing else that high that will work as well, so I'll take that.
All right. You stay low. You notice that that's with everybody floating around. Few people are able to stay low. They just have no idea what to do when they aren't able to control themselves without gravity. And so most of them are just sort of floating straight up.
Unfortunately for me, I got flying lessons off Lake.
Yeah.
Well, flying lessons would help if you could actually power your own momentum. But this is just kick off, and then you're
You
better
just
hope
take falling lessons, my friend.
Yeah. In this case, it's a matter of kicking off and hoping you aimed yourself right. All right, and so you get through the chamber, and you are out among the spires now. You see one of the ships, one of the butterfly ships, floating high above the city's relative location at this point. You don't see the saffron lady anywhere. And although you can't see the ground, you do notice that you are below the lower cloud layer at this point. Which way do you want to go?
I'm sorry, was that directed at me? I was distracted by something. What was that?
No, it's green.
How's it
Oh,
me?
okay.
You're not special, I'm sorry to tell you this.
I just heard cloud layer and I thought it was like stuff about the ship.
No, Grenache is got it bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, the ground is falling. Chances are any ships that are there won't be moving. They're gonna notice I'm not there on the Saffron Lady. The other ship that's flying high, I can probably suspect that that's Lake, who flew off with the majority of the slaves, at least.
Yes, you have been keeping in contact up until this point.
Yeah.
Because Rari's failed, at least from your perspective.
Yeah. So my line of thinking is the best shot I got is getting as high as I can and sending the signal to the one ship I know that can get to me to pick me up.
Well, the ship Lake is on can't come too close to the island.
Lake can't.
Yeah.
The Saffron Lady could.
Oh, okay. That's what you were referring to.
No, the
Sorry,
bubble wore off.
Yeah.
That's the
It was
thing.
a
I'm thinking
short-lived bubble.
fast here, so it's like,
No, the bubble isn't warm. It lasts an hour.
well, an hour's long
Bombs ain't
enough.
wore off quickly.
Odaluke sphere, I believe that's 1 or 10 minutes rather than an hour.
Oh, I thought you said it was an hour.
Raru's telepathic bond, that's an hour.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is all still happening really fast, so 10 minutes is still enough time.
Okay, well, for what it's worth, I do have a scroll of Revivify, so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We just need
Well, I
to
don't
find
think I
the
could
right
pick-
corpse.
yeah. Well, I don't think I could
But
it'll
take
stand
all
out.
of the fall damage.
Well, it'll be
Um,
the one that's green.
You say
Yeah.
that, but it's gonna be bad news when that thing hits the water.
But yeah, that's my plan. I go to high spot and just try and get spotted. I have got
Alright.
spell. I have got. Well, I'm going to be very green in a land of purple and grey, so.
Well, here's the thing, is that you basically have to push yourself up along the spire in order to get as high as possible, and eventually once you do so, you hit the wind envelope, and you're able to slow yourself down even further. Because that's the thing, all of the buildings on this island are in the island's sort of wind shadow as it's plummeting down at terminal velocity.
Mhm.
But once you get high enough up, you hit the natural wind that isn't being sort of protected by the pocket of resisted wind.
I bet they regret making it so aerodynamic from the bottom now.
Yeah. And so, once you hit that wind, you're able to slow yourself down by holding your arms and legs out sideways.
Oh, so he has
And-
had training in falling.
Well, even
And the
if you,
falling isn't the problem; it's the landing that's the issue.
and in any event, once you're falling out of the sky, there are a few things you learn pretty quickly,
Fair.
like what slow and fast feel like, for instance.
Right.
In any case, that gets you high enough up that you are potentially outside of the anti-magic field. So,
Well, if I'm out the anti-magic field, I can fire off a guiding bolt into the air to send a signal.
all right, and Lake also gets to make a perception check.
Oh, I'm actually good at perception, so give me a second.
Time to eat those words.
Well, the best part is I can literally not roll lower than a 22. But I got a 32, so fuck you.
Yes, unfortunately, not all of the slaves managed to get out in time. Most of them did.
Right.
I tried. I honestly tried my best.
Could have tried
What's on
harder.
your hands, like?
95% is better than 0%.
Yes. Because all of the ships have stopped working. So even if you could go back, it wouldn't help.
Well, I mean, we do have schools of Revivify.
Not that many, though.
But yeah, if I can see the, I'm pretty sure I can see the guiding bolt or whatever, so I'll fly over and save my good friend Grenache.
So the giant butterfly ship folds its wings down, swoops down in order to pick up Grenache. And although it is something of a sudden landing, Grenache is a monk. slow fall is a thing that they all get.
Yep.
Alright. And less than a minute later, a boom sort of echoes out through the air around you.
I look back at the
island.
island.
It is already crumbling into pieces. The spires have all collapsed. The crystals shattered and scattered. The buildings unrecognizable. Signs of life, none.
Good riddance, job's done. Fuck this place.
This place sucks, and I'm glad it's gone.
Just Lily spits at it off the deck, knowing full well she'll never see it hit.
However, the job itself is not quite over.
Ah, fuck.
No.
There still remains 2 queens who are not present in person. And you know where at least one of them can be found. Ulmard. Kingdom along the south. The kingdom that has the Elven Imperial Fleet's embassy.
Nice.
You know, I was hoping we could avoid that.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine the other one is going to be that hard to track down either. I mean, there are only so many queens.
Yeah.
It's true, let's just commit regicide all over. Non-stop regicide tour. 2020.
And they probably already know what's happened here, so they're gonna know that we're coming.
Just see how blue their blood is.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. But that's going to be a worry for the next time. And until then, you've got a new ship in your fleet.
Hell yeah, we do!
It's mine. This one's mine.
Wait, so are you admitting that this first one is mine then?
I mean, yeah, you can have the shitty ship. Fine.
Now that there's a spare, of course.
What are you gonna do about all those slaves, though?
Which one is better?
This one is bigger. and also,
It's mine. I call dibs.
and also rated for war.
Fair enough. It's not actually yours, to be clear.
No, it is mine. Fuck you.
Don't think that's how it works.
I'm pretty sure that's
for
how
someone
it works.
who always talks about equality, Lake doesn't very willing to share.
I'm
Lake
willing
is the
to...
one who commandeered the ship, though.
Yeah. And I'm willing
Yeah.
to let you spend the night on it if you really want to sleep on it, but this one's mine. You already claimed that one as yours for your little...
I hate both of you, and these ships are stupid.
Alright,
there a
but have you
picture?
all
There it is.
seen the visual design of the ship now?
Yes, it looks
trying
pretty
to-
rad.
I'm trying to make
It's at the bottom of the
picture
page,
big-
linked.
No, I'm trying to make the picture bigger.
Yeah, okay. It's actually kind of stupid. They can...
Alright, I mean, that's about as big as I'm gonna be. So.
Well, there's the see full-size image button.
Oh, yep, there it is.
although
It's
it-
not much, it's not much
Yeah,
bigger.
it's not much bigger. That's as honestly big as it's gonna get. That now you know that for certain.
Okay.
200 feet long, 20 feet deep.
God, has 7,200 man days of fresh air.
Yeah. Well, I ain't taking you guys to space, so don't worry about it.
Hmm.
As it is, you will need to figure out a good destination to drop off the crew here.
Yeah, see,
you may be
that's-
able to convince some of them to crew for you in exchange for actual wages, but well, we can settle
Yep.
that between sessions.
Drop them all off in a car.
Oh, come on. That would be... Yeah, that'd be really out of the frying pan into...
At least in Okar, there is no slavery.
I mean, being a citizen of Okar is worse than being a slave. So
No, actually.
you are a slave to Big Okar. The Okar lobby. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, they're welcome to. We'll take them wherever they want to go, I suppose. Well, as long as it's convenient.
Well, if you fly directly up, everywhere's convenient.
Yeah, true. Well, hold on. The world is a
It's not
sphere,
the full
right?
spaceship.
Yeah, but the further away you get from the surface, the
Yeah, the
faster ships
faster.
go.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, yeah, I'm sure we can take them wherever. If they want to go somewhere inconvenient, it might just take a little longer, depending on how speedy we want to be
Yeah.
about assassinating Queen.
Well,
I mean, Lake's the one in charge of the ship with all the slaves. We can go
I mean-
wherever.
Yeah, but I mean that does sound like a good plan.
They're welcome in Vienna if they want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take them to Okar, honestly. Not yet.
No, Okar's got enough problems.
Give it a little while, and then I would.
incidentally, most of these slaves are humans, but you also got several centaurs and minotaurs, and also a couple of gnomes.
Oh,
God, fucking gnomes.
so like I'll
Oh,
They
ask.
aren't
I'll basically
they
ask.
aren't as cheery as you're used to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll-
weird that.
I'll basically ask everyone like where they want to go after, like when we decide, like, you know, hey, we want to let them move. Hey, where do you want to go? Want to go back to your people? Do you want to go try someplace new on a different continent, etc., etc.? But like that's not a priority right now. I don't think.
Right now, the main thing to do right now is figure out a way to infiltrate Ulmard under the nose of the Elven Imperial Fleet. Get to the Queen, who is expecting you at this point, and take her down.
Regicide is all I could ask for, really.
And also probably her sister, who may
Once
or may
again.
not be at the same place.
Just
That
a
would be
whirlwind
convenient.
tour of
so I assume
regicide.
it is going to be the case. But we'll see what happens.
Maybe we could get
Stirring.
the fucking centaurs on our side and just attack them anyway. That would be cool.
Just working our way across the country, killing kings and
well,
queens.
if we have got centaurs and minotaurs on our side,
Yeah.
plus a few humans, we could try and encourage them to take up the fight against them.
I mean, yeah,
Well-
do we want to start a full-blown war, though? I mean, I'm not saying it'd be wrong to have a war against this kingdom or whatever, but would it actually, like, help us accomplish our goals, and would it be worth it?
Regardless, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Bye.
Have fun discussing this.
Okay.
Okay.
Just going in circles. Goodbye.
Good night.
Okay. That was just weirdly aggressive, but okay.
I think this is a good place to stop the recording.
Yeah.